Hello and welcome. Wendy Byford here. I am the co-founder and president of Your Entity Solution and founder of the Yes Roundtable, where we take women from startup all the way through until they're ready to scale. And today, my special guest is Jun Huang. Now, Jun is the founder of InnoSight Financial Planning. Before entering financial services, he spent over a decade leading product strategy and R&D teams from startups to mid-sized companies to serving as a VP of a Fortune 500 organization with over 150,000 employees. Boy, that's big. He holds a Ph.D. from Rutgers University, an MBA from the Wharton School, and is a certified financial planner and a certified coach from Columbia University. Jun helps business owners connect the dots between their business decisions and their personal financial life so they can build with confidence instead of running on fear. Oh my goodness, that is just amazing. First of all, to spend all that time getting all those degrees, how many years did it take you to do all of that?
Actually 20 plus years, like you said. But I'm a learner, so I actually get energy from learning stuff.
Wow. So my first question, Jun, is what made you leave corporate America and go into financial planning to help business owners?
Oh, okay. So, well, there were a few kind of pivotal moments get me a switch. When I was younger, I will start from there. So my grandma, who I'm really close to, so she was diagnosed with late stage colorectal cancer. And, you know, so she was this very plump and happy lady that laughs all the time.
Mhm.
But then she became, bed bound and, she's so thin like a skeleton. And I still remember her eye sank into her eye socket so deeply. So that, seeing her go through that really changed me. So that's why later on I went to healthcare R&D because I just really don't want other people to feel the pain that I felt. So that's what really drove my whole decade of career in healthcare. And then one day I had a wake up call. So I came home from a business trip, and my daughter at the time was like 3, 4. So she was so happy to see me, and I was holding her. She was telling me what happened in her day. So I was shocked because I didn't recognize a single name she mentioned.
Mhm.
And even the words she used, I feel foreign. So at that moment, I realized I was missing out too much.
Mhm.
And, so at that moment, I also remembered a coach friend of mine. So she told me that really stuck with me. So she told me that, my life is like a wedge of cheese.
Mhm.
So I was climbing the corporate ladder very quickly, but then I left a lot of holes in my life along the way, right? Just like a cheese. And those are the holes eventually I want to fill.
Right.
So at that moment, I realized that the time to start filling those holes was now. Yeah. Actually, the third thing that moved me specifically to financial planning was during my PhD. So my advisor, he was getting ready for retirement.
Mhm.
He saved well. He did a lot of things right, but then 2008 hit.
Mhm.
So I just saw his hair like turn white in just 2 months. It was so scary, and his posture, his confidence just collapsed. So this is like such a like sharp contrast from
Mhm.
his usual self, right? Because he's actually one of the most respected scientists in the country.
Right.
So yeah, so um that's my grandma moment in finance, right? So a lot of smart, hardworking people who you know build their career, build their life, right? Then the system failed them when they're most vulnerable.
Right.
Yeah, so that's when I realized I actually see this over and over and over.
Mhm.
And so I want to help people who are building something great, and and I want to be the one who actually connects the financial dots for them. And I think that, right, the business owners in the messy middle, especially.
Right. Well, it's really difficult sometimes for people, especially when they are starting their business and they're running really hard to grow it, to even think about, what's going to happen when I'm ready to retire, what's going to happen when I'm ready to give up what it is that I'm doing.
Yeah,
And like anything, the best time to start thinking about exiting your company is the day after you start it.
exactly. Yeah.
And
When
we
we
don't
have
we
good,
don't do that planning. So
yeah, yeah, when we have the blueprint, right, to build something on, then we can build something very solid, right, that lasts for a long time.
right. So when you say connecting the dots between their business decisions and their personal financial life,
Mhm.
um, that isn't something that I see very often. So
Hmm.
how do you go about helping people do that?
Um, well, so should I give you an example?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Okay, then let me think. Okay, so one of my early clients, so she was a single mom with two kids,
Mhm.
and when she came to me, she was just like so overwhelmed, and it's just so understandable because she was trying to keep her current clients happy, and she was trying to expand her business, but she's raising two kids by herself, and she was trying to sell her house at the time, and it just wouldn't move. So, I can see that the fear is really something that she can't shake off.
Right,
Right? So if she slows down, like, can she make the ends meet? Right? If she slows down, can she eventually can retire or not? Right? So I see that she's trying to push her through, even when the life doesn't support it. Right? She can't absorb it at the moment.
right,
Yeah. So when we look at her numbers, it was very clear to me that her spending was built for a previous chapter of her life.
okay.
So it doesn't align with her reality.
Mhm.
She just didn't know a different way to live. Right?
Right.
So I think the budget was the first thing we looked at.
Mhm.
We worked together to really decide what matters to her and what didn't. And we actually cut her spending by more than half, which is a huge amount, right? So
It is. That's amazing.
yeah, but what's more important, I think, is that bootstrapping for a short
Mhm.
period of time, most people
Mhm.
can do it. But if you do it longer period, it might feel suffocating,
Right.
right? So after a few months, I checked her on that, and I was so happy. She told me that she actually really liked it. And she even told me a couple of stories, like how she and
Mhm.
her neighbor like found more innovative ways to save.
Wow.
She actually also said that, you know, even later on when she make more money, she still want to live this way. So that was
Well, that's fantastic because then she can save for retirement.
exactly. Yeah. So, like when we how much we need to retire, it's not a specific number, right? It's
Mhm.
really how much we save versus how much we want to spend,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, so that's one thing that really keep her very much calmer.
Mhm.
And then there are a couple of other things in my mind. So I think one thing was her investment. So she has this habit of checking her investment very often,
Mhm.
and when the market go up and down so much, you can
Right.
relate, right, how
Mhm.
she feel that affects her daily emotion.
Right.
So we decided together we're gonna move part of her investment to be like lower risk, so that the
Mhm.
markets doesn't kind of become one more thing that drains her energy, right?
Right.
Yeah, so when we run the retirement projections, it became so clear that, right, she can slow down for a year or two, and her retirement is going to be completely fine.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
So,
so yeah, go ahead.
so when you're dealing with business owners, do you, I understand that you know you're helping them with with the money that they need to get started or to scale. So where's that money going to come from? If it turns out that there's no way that they're going to be able to provide that money themselves, do you help them to understand how to get funding that's reasonable, that they can manage to make the payments on?
Yeah, so if we talk about loans, then
Mhm,
I'm not an expert, but I have friends who are very familiar in this regard.
mhm.
So yeah, I don't think I'm an expert in everything,
Uh,
but I see myself more like, let's say, a financial director, right?
right.
So things I'm not expert in, that I can help them, toward the
Mhm,
right direction. Yeah,
mhm,
but what you said is very true, right? So if they don't have the sufficient money,
mhm.
I think we actually need to evaluate, right? What is the best route that getting the funding, right? If they should get the funding, and if they get the funding, how to get it.
Right.
Um, you know, like, do they actually want to, let's say, put their personal asset on the line? Let's say a security
Mhm,
line of credits or home equity, all those, right? So that might be easier to get,
mhm.
but are they putting their, family in a situation that is not justifiable, right? So there's a lot of things we need to think about.
Okay.
So it could be.
That's good because it's a tough decision to decide to go for funding for your business, whether it's an SBA loan or something else. It's a huge step,
Yep.
and a lot of times people don't know who to speak to.
Right.
Um, so having somebody that can help them with doing a budget that will allow them to bootstrap or advising them on, look, you really need funding, and I can um, connect you with some people who are ethical and can do funding for you, and also helping with retirement and exit planning. I mean, that's a huge advisory role, and a lot of people don't have that in their life.
Mm, yep. Hopefully I can feel some of the holes there.
Right. So having somebody like you by their side makes an enormous difference.
Mhm.
Um, June, our time has just flown by. Um,
Oh,
so I'm going to bring up how people can contact you.
all right.
Um, you're on LinkedIn, which is how we connected.
Mhm.
So you can get hold of June on LinkedIn, or you can email him, Jun.Huang at innosight.financial, or you can book a call. So if you're ready to say, hey, I need some help here, then just go to innosight.financial.tapmg.com/strategy-session-30 minutes. And you can have a chat with June and see whether or not he is the advisor that you would like to work with. Um, June, thank you so much for being on this call. I know that people really do need to have a financial advisor as part of their professional team, just like they need a bookkeeper, CPA, an attorney, or anybody else. Having an advisor who is impartial, who can help you make the decisions that you need to make is incredibly important. Um, Somebody once told me that once you've got all the information, it's easier to make good decisions. So I think that's what you mean by connecting your dots.
Exactly. Oh, and also want to add one thing. I think that the business entity, right, the work that you're doing is exactly the foundation that makes everything that I do much easier, right? So, so really appreciate your work.
Well, thank you. Now, for those of you who are not yet in the roundtable, if you are a woman who's done your proof of concept, you're cash flowing a few $1,000s a month, but you cannot scale because you don't have the foundation, the infrastructure to be able to do that, then let's talk. You can go take a look at our program at yourentitysolution.com/yes-roundtable, or you can text me at 702-462-4616. Let's have a conversation and see if this program is right for you. Again, June, thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you,
Take
Lynn.
care, everyone.
Take care.
Bye-bye.